Hey, Coach. Obviously, three true freshmen, all earned victories, two of which were in bonus point fashion. Can you just take a moment to speak on the performances from Plott, Ferrari, and Master Giovanni?
Well, it was good to see him step out, and all three of them have had long years leading up to this point. Not a lot of wrestling because of injuries, um, and so that was a little bit of concern as we were coming into it. Just it's a lot different than what you're looking like in practice. So I was pleased. I was pleased with the effort. Obviously, not where will ultimately, hopefully, will end. But it was a good start for all three of them, and I think that they're going to be able to identify real quickly that they got to get a little stronger, get a little tougher, and start building a little bit longer for their endurance.
Hey, John, I know you don't necessarily like to look at records all that much, but with these two wins today, you do move into fourth all time in dual wins, passing Jay Robinson and another former Oklahoma State wrestler. I guess just talk about that achievement with your guys today of moving into fourth all time.
Well, it takes a lot of good athletes to be able to do something like that. So, I credit my past athletes and Oklahoma State's past athletes here as wrestlers. Uh, it's a great honor, and I'm glad I'm going to get to share it with this team.
Well, and you don't have to go too long to move to third as well, because you're only one behind them, and obviously you guys get that chance next week.
Wow, I didn't know all this. So, yeah, I don't know what to think about third or fourth place. That's wonderful. That's credit to a lot of good teams and a lot of good efforts from a lot of individuals. So anyway, dual meet wins to me is the greatest thing in college wrestling. Dual meets is the way we can generate new fans and bring new people into the sport. Having great dual meets has always done that.
Well, if it helps humble you some, you're still going to be 170 behind first place.
Yeah, I'm not going to reach that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, you can.
Hey, I'll stick around long enough to cover it. You go get it done.
Yeah. I think, it's this year kind of, I think all coaches will tell you, especially football coaches who've finished up seasons, this feels like 3 seasons, with the amount of responsibility that you have as you lead up to this point. And so it's been good, and it's a good start for our team.
Hey, John, you talked about the freshmen as a group. And I know I asked about AJ's strength last week. How many times have you seen a guy get a double leg around the thighs? Like what he did? No, that doesn't happen often.
I think that once he kind of gets in a routine of his offense, I think he's going to feel even more dominating when he can. I think that he's going to hit a lot of tough people as we move along, and there's going to be a lot of challenges. I just think that he needs to recognize, one, that it's been a long time since he's competed, or as far as folk style, he's got a chance to really get a lot better coming off of these 2 matches. So he's got good double leg. He's got some things that we want to continue to work with, and recognize that that it's real important that you grow from these matches as we go forward.
I know you've seen Cade obviously in the room a lot, but how nice was it to see him out there on the mat in competition for really the first time in nearly 2 years?
Yeah, we had a lot of that scenario today, and going in, I didn't think much about it, but when I started seeing some inconsistency in the matches, it kind of reminded me, that hey, let's get them through these matches right now. Some of them hadn't competed for a long time, and that doesn't help. But I think for Cade, I think it was a good start. I think that match really kind of exposed some things that you want to continue to get better with. I thought the kid was pretty talented. I thought he was ready to go. He looked, when he stepped out, kid was ready to go even after he got taken down, and Cade kind of built the lead on him. Kid was still had a lot of fire in him, and of course he was, I don't know, he was ranked top 20. So it's a good start for Cade to get that kind of test. It should give him an opportunity to really grow from it as we go into next weekend.
I know you had told us that, we wouldn't expect Anthony Montalvo, but we didn't really know much about Wyatt Sheets. What was with that decision today?
Well, right now, Wyatt is out with an injury, and we hope to get him back next week. And we'll just have to kind of play it by, just wait on our trainer and doctors to help us make some decisions what's best for Wyatt. But I think ultimately we hope to see him back soon.
And you've talked about guys taking advantage of these opportunities. Going back to Anthony, obviously the guy filling in for him, Dustin, coming out with a couple of impressive wins. It's going to make it tough on you guys if and when Anthony's able to get back healthy.
Yeah, and you just kind of keep in mind that all of our teams, not just my team, but everywhere in the country, gets to wrestle everyone this year. So it makes it a lot more of a challenge, and I think that you saw us wrestle some different guys than what maybe you expected. But I think in the end, I think that there's still going to continue to be challenge at 25. I think 41 can still be a challenge. 57 as we go forward, see how that goes. 74, like you said, Montalvo, or 84, he might be at 84. And I think there's good, healthy competition with Serber and AJ. So, it's just a healthy scenario for us. But definitely, like you said, makes it a little tougher when everybody's eligible, because you know that you don't have to redshirt anyone right now.
Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Okay. With again, you're talking about guys first time back in a while. How impressed were you to see Boo, the way he came out and just kind of blitzed his guys in both of those duels?
Yeah, I was more impressed with that second match. That was a really hard technical fall. I think, was it in the first period? I think it was the first period.
Yeah, right at the buzzer.
There was nothing easy about that. That took strength. That took endurance, and awareness. So, there were some scenarios that were kind of flippy floppy, and he just kind of ended in the right position. But I was more impressed with just the fact that he kept scoring, even though there was nothing easy about scoring the 15 or 16 or 17 points that he scored. Sometimes you'll see the first 8 come, and it was a hard 8, and if it was real hard, then you see guys kind of back off and trying to catch a little bit of wind. But I like the way he just continued to press on and ran that score up, and against a athlete, to me, that looked like he had some experience and some will out there.
Hey, Coach. I was just going to ask about Austin Harris at heavyweight, a guy that last year he had a losing record. He comes out today, wins 2 matches, and the second one was with a pretty exciting finish with that late takedown and then riding time to force overtime.
Well, he's a better wrestler. He has not been really on the mat, competed live for almost I'm going to say 3.5, 4 weeks. So this was his first live go, even although he came back to practice this week, I didn't allow him to go live. It was good. I mean, the last match was, not ideal. It's not what you want to see. But what I do like to see is you got thrown hard. You went to your back for 2 near fall, and all of a sudden you're down by 4 points. He gets the reversal and kind of just fights his way back in it, and strategically he did a good job in the third period where he rode him. And once he billed that riding time point, he made the cut, and we knew he needed the takedown to push it to overtime. So, and then getting the takedown in overtime. So, hopefully, he'll gain something as he's coming out of this, but again, hasn't had a whole lot of go time, and sometimes that takes a little bit of time to get just your rhythm back for him. It's all about his rhythm, because he is a small heavyweight, so rhythm is real important to him.
So, as a coach, you talked about him becoming a better wrestler. How specifically has he improved from this year to now?
Well, I think his shots are better. I think he's got some ability to ride hard, and he's done a good job of kind of managing to get off the mat against bigger guys. I think that's always going to be his challenge, and his success is going to be being able to get off the mat from underneath, when there is a 25-pound difference. If you can't do that, it puts a lot of wear and tear on you. And of course, you got to be quick, and you got to be explosive, and use some of your speed to be able to move off that mat against bigger guys. So he's gotten better everywhere. I think a lot of it just confidence. I don't think he could have won that match a year ago being down 4. I just think that's kind of where he's going. He's turned into a fine heavyweight force, and he's a long ways from being an All-American, but I do believe that that's something he can continue to close the gap on.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. You guys good? Thank you. Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have Boo Lewallen and Dustin Plott come join us shortly. Boo will be coming in first. Shoot, I don't have a
So, Boo, how did it feel to finally get out there for the first time in about a year?
It was awesome, man. I was surprised with the crowd again. I think that was awesome. I can't say enough about our fans. It's pretty special to be wrestling at Oklahoma State.
I mean, obviously you didn't really want to be out there for the full time on both matches. I mean, what was that about though?
Man, I got a big commitment to myself of making sure that I'm starting my matches the way that, I want to start them, and not standing around with guys, and, making sure that, this is an opportunity that I can separate myself, and if I can separate myself, I need to do that, so I think it's just having a commitment to not standing around and putting points on the board instead of just being lackadaisy. So.
Yeah. Now, I know obviously you being an Oklahoma kid, you grew up idolizing a guy like John Smith, but with your guys' wins today, he moves up to 4th all time in dual victories, and only one behind number 3, which you guys have a chance to pass next week. But I mean, as being an Oklahoma kid, what's that feeling like, knowing that you're part of the history that he's making as a coach?
Man, that's awesome. To be a part of anything that Coach Smith is achieving is something special. So, like you said, I've looked up to him since I started wrestling. I had the How Low Can You Go tapes that he made 1 and 2, you know, and I don't know, when I was in middle school, I used to like watch those tapes and I would take notes on them, and the little drills that he had in those tapes, I would do it in my upstairs at my parents' house. We had a 10 by 10 mat, and so I would do it up there. So, no, it means a lot. He's an incredible coach. He was an incredible athlete, and to have my name a part of that is pretty special.
Thanks, Boo.
Yeah, Boo. John talked about your second match with Oregon State being the one that really impressed him because it kind of took a little bit of everything: strength, endurance. Talk a little bit about the second one, because not only that, you know, I know you hadn't been out there, but when you tech fall, you use a lot of energy, and you still had plenty of it for the second match.
For sure, yeah. No, I train hard, you know, and I know a lot of people train hard. If you're wrestling at the Division I level, you're training hard, but you know, I take pride in the effort that I give every single day, and I think ultimately it just goes back to that commitment that I make to myself. You know, I'm gonna move my feet. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not standing around and hanging in tie-ups, and ultimately, if I'm doing that, you know, points are gonna be put up on the board, whether you know I get reversed or I'm not sure if I gave up a takedown in the first match or if that was a reversal also, but
I think it was a reversal.
yeah. So I mean, you know, I can give up points that way, but I'm getting points at the same time. So you know, I just want to continue that, especially going back into practice tomorrow, keeping my intensity up and making sure that I'm, you know, staying true to the commitment that I have to myself.
Boo, I know it's nothing really totally new. It's something you guys kind of face in the postseason. But how just weird was it being in a dual situation in Gallagher Arena? You have another mat next to you. You guys aren't right up against the mat getting to cheer your teammates on. I mean, it was a totally different atmosphere than what you would normally have inside GIA today.
For sure, it was definitely unique. You know, I can think back to probably maybe my freshman year or sophomore year. I came up and was watching the national duels when they were held here, and I remember watching Jordan Oliver. Coach Perry was on that team. Coach Caldwell was on that team, you know, and I remember watching that, and there was multiple mats with some incredible wrestling going on. But no, for sure, this is a completely different atmosphere. You know, you look up and you see fans kind of like all spread out, and you can't even really be out there on the supporting your teammates, like you said. So it's different, but you know, I'm glad that we're actually making strides in the right direction, and actually we're able to compete. So we're pretty lucky.
How much do you have to ultimately draw on again, it's not the usual fans collection that you would get. You don't have the fans right on the court with you like in past years, but how much do you have to rely on the fans, because you don't have, you know, your teammates that are usually there, you know, hooting and hollering and even trying to yell over Coach Smith or Coach Perry with some ideas of what moves you should be doing?
For sure. No, I think, you know, I can't speak on everybody, but for myself, you know, I want to give the fans something to cheer about. So whenever I go out there and compete, I want to make sure that the fans are, you know, oohing and ahhing, or if I get in reverse, they're like, "What the heck are you doing?" You know, I want to get the crowd interacting, and I think it goes back to that commitment that I have for myself. You know, wrestling's pretty simple. You know, you take a guy down, you get 2 points. You know, there's a point system, and if you wrestle and you open up, you know, points will be thrown up, and it's exciting. So. No, but just going back on the fans, you know, we're super lucky to have them, and they're knowledgeable, so they know what's going on throughout the matches, and so any energy we get from them is beneficial for sure.
What'd you think of fellow Oklahoman Dustin Plott's performance there right behind you?
Heck yeah, man, he wrestled tough today. He's another hard worker that, you know, is committed to getting better every single day, and you know, I grew up wrestling at OWA, Oklahoma Wrestling Academy, under Coach Hardell Moore, and Dustin wrestled with us throughout that time period as well. So I've seen Dustin wrestle since he was a young kid, and it's awesome being in the position that I'm in, getting to watch him, go out there and do what he did tonight. The guy hasn't even redshirted. He's jumping straight into it, and he's looking really good. So I'm excited for the future for him.
Thanks, Boo.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions for Boo? I think you're good to go.
Thanks, Boo.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Boo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dustin, it wasn't your typical GIA experience, but what was it like for you finally, first time getting that opportunity to get out on that new mat, no less, but your first experience in the Oklahoma State program?
It was amazing. Growing up, coming up to the duels, I've always dreamed of being there and being in the situation I was in today. So very grateful to be part of this program and wrestle today.
Were you trying to make it sure it was a memorable one with your performances today?
Yeah, I was just trying to enjoy the moment, wrestle and have fun. So for sure.
Well, then I asked Boo about it as well, and it sounds like you guys didn't know about it, but John now moves to, with the 2 wins today, moves to 4th all time in career wins. As an Oklahoma kid yourself, growing up, I'm sure you idolized him. What's the feeling like being a part of that history that he's obviously been a big part of in the sport of wrestling?
It's amazing. The program as a whole throughout history has set all kinds of records, and I think it's just another pin on Coach Smith's sleeve of accomplishments, because he has plenty of them, but it's definitely amazing to be part of that.
Thanks, Dustin.
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, if nobody else, I got a couple more real quick.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. I was just leaving it open for anyone else. Obviously, you're part of a very talented freshman class. You weren't the only one making your debut. What do you think of the performance from Trevor and AJ right behind you, coming up with a couple big wins as well?
Yeah, I think all the freshmen wrestled well today. It's really great to see, guys that work so hard in the room and just like me, young, hungry, go out and get wins today. And, watching Mastro win his matches and going into my matches, feeling good, being happy for him. And then ending watching AJ blast double his guys is always a great feeling. So.
Now, obviously, you guys now go on the road for a couple of duels, but what was this experience like? Obviously, you've been in a lot of competitions where you have to wrestle multiple times in a day, but in this duel setting, how did that feel today, and how do you feel it's going to go going forward the rest of the year?
It felt a little different. I think it'll go well the rest of the year, but yeah, my body felt good, and yeah, just small adjustments probably with 2 duels instead of 1. So looking forward to going on the road and getting to experience that now.
Yeah. That'll work for me. Appreciate it, Dustin.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks, guys. That's all we got today.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Reed.
Thanks, Reed.